Good morning and welcome to another edition of Tactical Tips from the Independent Dealer Podcast and our sponsors, NEO. We've talked about this before, but underwriting is so valuable for our industry. And if it's retail, if it's buy here, pay here, it really doesn't matter. Underwriting is the key to making loans last. And if you're doing it yourself, you're just throwing spaghetti on the wall. Some things stick, some don't. Get some help, and NEO's the place to go. It can take us out of the equation. So we're getting close to the end of the year. And when we do that, we really need to be looking ahead. We need to be looking ahead at what we're going to do next year, what our business is going to do next year, and what we expect. So moving forward, we're going to talk about goals, but today we want to talk about looking forward. And what is the best way to look forward? What are some tips that you can use to make it better? So number one is sometimes when you look forward, you have to look backwards. So what I encourage you to do this week is look back at past business strategies. And you go, well, I've been using the same strategy forever. You probably haven't. You just haven't defined it. So let's think about that. Let's think about those strategies, what we have done, what we did last year, what we did 5 years ago. Because I'd be willing to bet you'll find that you've done a little things differently. Figure out which ones worked the best, which ones didn't work at all. That way you can look forward and look ahead at what's going to work next time. Number two, we've talked about this a lot. And we talk about identifying your core competencies. We've talked about it. We need to rehash it because if we use just those core competencies in next year's business planning and next year's outlook, I promise you looking ahead will really make sense to you. This one's a little harder. Number three is take a hard look at your current staff. I promise you there is dead weight in your company. And we can't always decide who we like, who we don't like, who's great at their job, who's not great at their job. Sometimes the people you like the most are not good at their job. And sometimes you have holes because you don't have the right staff. So make sure that you take a long, hard look before we start looking ahead. Look at what you currently have. Number four, we all probably wrote a business plan to start with. And it's real simple to go, okay, this is my business plan. Well, let's say you've been in business 5 years, 10 years, 37 years. That business plan is probably gone away. It's just not there anymore. So what I encourage you to do over these next couple of weeks before we get to next year is write down your future business plan. Map it out. See what we're working with. We may not be working with the right tools. We may not be following our original business plan. We may need to write a whole new business plan. So let's do that when we start looking ahead. Number five, and this is something Jeff just brought up to me earlier today, and it makes so much sense. Hey, what's important to you? That's what really matters. If important to you is growing to have 10 dealerships or 10 stores or 10 franchises, hey, that's important to you. If important to you means spending more time with your family, keeping operations low, make enough money to live comfortably but not be stupidly rich, hey, that's what's important to you. And I promise you, if you focus on what's important to you, your business will succeed. Hey, thanks for listening. Hopefully this helps. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.